There we go. Well, there it is. Come on. Oh, right. Hmm. Right. Paywalls are the bane of my existence. Ooh. 1077 The Bone with Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Don't do me like that. Apparently, somebody is doing that, and that somebody is Warner Music, who just had a lawsuit filed against them for using footage that Tom Petty recorded back in the 1990s for a recent documentary that the person who owns the footage claims was stolen. He never gave consent to use the footage and was never compensated for use of the footage in the documentary Tom Petty Somewhere You Feel Free, The Making of Wildfires. Now, I feel like Tom Petty estate was involved in the making of that video, and I wonder if it's accidental or not. Don't do me like that. Apparently, somebody is doing that, and that somebody is Warner Music, who just had a lawsuit filed against them for using. Today is going to be a day where we do everything in advance because it's a holiday and because it's a Friday. So I am basically going to be doing a whole lot of radio all at once. Sorry. I don't prefer to do it that way. I like everything to be as close to live as possible, but that is not possible today, which just leaves me less time to talk because typically, that's when I talk is in between, like, doing the live breaks. But now I gotta do 2.5 shows in the same time as it takes me to do 1. Oh, and I've got to update the concert calendar on the Zone page because it's Friday. I haven't done it yet. Um, really? Come on. Hmm, okay. Google is 100% failing me today when I'm trying to look stuff up. "1077 The Bone and The Who with Won't Get Fooled Again." I'm Nikki Blakk, and, well, I don't think anybody's fooled when The Who says they're gonna retire and then doesn't, but they just did that again, and Pete Townsend basically says he's been touring for the money. Steve Gorman and I talked about this in our podcast in an older episode, if you wanna check it out, where Pete Townsend basically says he has a lifestyle that requires him to be rich at this point, which means he's never gonna stop performing because he's never gonna stop living that lifestyle. You can catch our podcast at anywhere you get podcasts, like Apple or whatever, but also the easiest way to find it is at 1077thebone.com. It's called the oh, hold on. What? Oh, come on. What's up?
Okay. Wait a sec.
What?
This is Monday's long. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
1077 The Bone and The Who. They won't get fooled again. I'm Nikki Blakk, and I don't think anyone is fooled when The Who starts grumbling about how they're going to retire because they're just not. They did that again recently, and Pete Townsend said he's basically touring for the money. If you haven't had a chance to check out my podcast with Steve Gorman Rocks tonight at 7 o'clock, we talked about this in one of our podcasts, and Steve says that Pete Townsend has admitted that he likes to live a certain lifestyle, and that lifestyle requires copious amounts of cash, which is why he will continue to tour for the money. So if you're a Who fan, as long as you can afford the tickets, that's good news. If you haven't had a chance to check out our podcast, you can get it anywhere you get podcasts. Just search the title. It's The Black Room. And you can find it really easily at 1077thebone.com. We're trying to do everything quickly on account of Shasta's not getting great reception in the mountains, and we're light on spots, so we need to add music, and so I got to get through today as fast as I can to see how much music I need her to add so I can reach her while we're still getting decent reception.
There you go.
You finally out of here?
I think so.
All right. Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Cheers. Love you too. I feel like we just met, but thank you. Cheers, man. Oh, there we go. Monday. And that reminds me, I forgot to do the thing where we merge the commercials with the music. Also, my arm hurts. 1 second. Wow, somebody just wanted to let me know that it's 122 in Butts Canyon in LC. What is LC? I find that weird because I haven't been talking about the heat at all today. Because I feel like we're all done talking about the heat. You know what I'm saying? Yep, I get it. It's hot. Frankly, I'm happy that it's not as hot as it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like 105 this week, and it was only 95. So winning. Okay. Cool. That part is done. Now I just need to print for Monday, and then I can go back to recording Friday. God, it's funny. Yesterday I was telling a story and I was like, I should tell that on the live stream tomorrow. And now I'm all, what the fuck was I talking about? What did I say? Hey, Jacob. How's it going? Happy Friday. I mean, honestly, it felt like yesterday was Saturday. So today feels kind of like Monday. Especially after yesterday. Yesterday was epic. I was exhausted. I didn't get home until like midnight. We like practically shut down the back lounge. Yesterday was one of those days where you felt like you paid homage. All right. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself, man. I mean, we all had a great time. Like half the Bay Area music scene was there, so that was awesome. Plus, I got to see people I hadn't seen in years. Like literally like people who were like family that I've known since the '80s, since the mid '80s were there. So that was great. Um, Well, I'm glad you had a good time, Jacob. That's what that whole thing is about, is everybody getting together and having a good time. I mean, the Merkins play an epic set every time, and it's just pure fun. And thankfully not too hot, and they had so much water out, that was huge. I mean, honestly, I was pounding water the whole day, and if I hadn't been able to do that, I would have gotten a migraine and left because of the heat, so that was rad. Plus, it was actually not that hot inside. Their AC actually was kicking, and the ceiling fans as well. Those 2 things together made it nice. I never got, like, too uncomfortable. Found out one of your alums is related to Steve Souza? The brothers from Patriot. Um, yeah, yeah, I know this I've known the Souza kids since they were little kids. I'm like their auntie Nikki. I love those boys. I'm so proud of them. They are doing so great. It's been great to watch them grow up and follow in their dad's footsteps. I gotta go get some stuff off the printer. Okay. Yeah, yeah, good news. I'm glad you had fun and reconnected with the Sousa kids and stuff. We had a great time. I'll tell you, I didn't feel young again when I was leaving, though. I felt exhausted. And this morning, nope, super tired. I was like, "Can I call in sick to work today?" And then I was like, "No, everybody else is out today, so I have to come in." Inner Circle, what's up? What, do you have a name that you prefer, or should I just call you In Her? Just kidding. Sort of. No, do you have another name? 'Cause that joke won't be funny the second time. It was barely funny the first time. It's George Thorogood on 107.7 The Bone. I'm Nikki Blakk, and he wants to know, who do you love? I'm pretty sure who you love is gonna be 107.7 The Bone, because I got this scoop on what we are giving away next week, and it is the Rolling Stones. They're gonna be at Levi's Stadium on July 17th. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com, but be listening in the 7 AM, 11 AM, or 3 PM hours next week for the cue to call for your chance to score a pair of tickets. Sounds pretty sweet, right? You might wanna set those calendar alerts now so that you're listening at the right time because you're gonna forget this over the weekend. Oh, well, that's silly. I could have been talking out of the you know what? We're gonna move that and do it over here. Wait a second. What is going on? How am I behind? 41. I need 5 minutes. Wow. I'm gonna be doing a Catherine. Hi. Nice to meet you. Yeah, see that inner thing is it wasn't gonna be funny at all. What's the inner circle mean? Um, hey, Jacob. Yeah, glad you're learning Greek because if you ever go to visit that place, you can read the signs, whereas I have no idea what they say. I did know Tommy Lee's mom was Greek and also that she was Miss Greece. And also, did you know she spoke no English when she moved here and that she and Tommy's dad just fell madly in love and made it work? Um, Oh, yeah? You just picked the name and we're, like, sticking with it? I didn't know if because some people, like, pop in and they have, YouTube pages where they do specific things. Like this guy Roy, I think it's Ro is it Roy who has that one? Yeah, 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 there's a guy Roy who goes around and, like, does community events, and he has, like, a community event name. So I thought maybe you were, like, an inner circle person who has, like, an inner circle YouTube page theme or something. I don't know. I'm new to this, so I'm kinda just stumbling through it. How are you guys doing? Did anybody else have to go into work today but come into an empty office because like everybody else had the day off? I swear, dude, it's like our whole building is working from home today. Or they had to take actual vacation days because this was not a holiday. Oh, yay. Everybody's good. Nice. There's always more people watching than commenting. And I'm always like, but what? Are you just listening to me like sniffle and stuff? Or did you want to talk? I mean, I'm happy to tell stories and stuff. I just need a direction to go in, you know? I'm terrible at coming up with stuff off the top of my head. I need like a trigger. Oh, right. I'm doing math as well. Because there's like a thing where the music and the commercials need to be timed out perfectly. Do I still do interviews? I have just started back doing interviews actually. I did a bunch of interviews when I was with 1077 The Bone. From, like 2006 to 2015, and then I quit radio for 7 years and worked in live music industry, backstage at concerts, like setting up dressing rooms and stuff, and then in my last year at the concert industry, I went on tour with Jackson Browne, which was super fun, and I was like, "Oh, I'm never gonna go back to radio again. I'm gonna be touring, like, all the time because this is my new favorite thing," and then The Bone called and was like, "Hey, would you like to come back?" And I was like, "Okay." So I gave up touring. But, came back, and so since then, I have started doing interviews again. I put in, like, a full year at the station before I brought back the Metal Zone and started doing interviews again because, there were a lot of things to work out, but, I think we've worked out the vast majority of them, and so I will be definitely doing interviews going forward, and as for anybody in Cannibal Corpse, whether or not I would interview them, I would, absolutely. No one's contacted me, and I don't think they're doing anything right now. You know, typically the thing that triggers, um, an interview is the band has something to promote, right? So when the band has something to promote, their publicist will send out like a blanket email to people, or they'll contact me directly if I know them personally and say, "Hey, would you like to interview so and so because they've got this coming up to talk about?" And then, that's kinda how they get set up usually. Um Every it's funny because I've only actually tried to do 1 interview so far this year, but I've done like a half dozen, all because they kinda kept coming to me, and I was like, "I should just keep doing these." And the one that I tried to do didn't work out, and so we're still trying to make it happen, but, it was kind of funny. But yeah, I'll happily interview. I mean, I've got that I'm guessing you've seen I've talked to, Alex Webster once, and I talked to, Corpse Grinder a couple times. And those were both great times, you know? I'm super happy to interview those guys anytime they want. All I gotta do is call. Uh, You saw my name honorably mentioned at Blabbermouth? Oh, you mean just that Blabbermouth reported my story or what? You started listening to the Metallica Report podcast, which seems like everyone else who does also because everyone is talking about when James slept on a floor in an attic in Denmark. Um, I'll be honest, I don't listen to a lot of podcasts. I really don't listen. I used to not listen to a lot of anything. I kind of just like burnt out on all that stuff. And then I during the pandemic, I found out that you could just sign on to a library app and check books, audiobooks out of a library. Like I was all, why am I paying for these books on Audible like a sucker? You know, somebody clued me into Audible and I started listening to like autobiographies on Audible because there is nothing cooler to me than listening to like a rock star read their own life story, you know? And then like I said, I found out you could just go to the library. You don't have to go to the library. You just download an app and then just start checking books out of the library. So I've been kind of obsessed with library books the last couple of years since the pandemic, and I've just probably been plowing through books. The most recent one I did was Barbara Streisand's autobiography, which sounds, I know, so not metal, but no, Barbara Streisand, kind of a badass. I mean, now all we know is Barbara Streisand, Jewish grandma, but no, that bitch like negotiated full creative control and final cut on like everything she did from the get practically. And that is something that no one ever gets. And it was very cool to listen to her talk about how she started out as a woman in the industry in the 60s, you know, fighting for all the things. And so that was kind of my latest thing. Um, but I love Stefan Shirazi and Renee. I don't want to say Renee's wrong last name. I don't know if she's using the same last name as she used when she was on the air. But yeah, the people that do the Metallica podcast are very awesome and very, very inner circle. Well, Stefan has been inner circle Metallica for decades now, so he really knows the guys super well. He knows how to bring out the best in them for interviews and what to ask to get them to tell the stories that are going to be what the fans want to hear. So I think the podcast has been a great thing for them and a great vehicle, right? Because it saves the band from having to do a bunch of interviews with chumps like me when they can just do their own podcast, you know, and the podcast goes on without the band members. So there's always all these other angles to the podcast, and then the band members will guest on the podcast. So I think it works out really well for them. And then they trigger kind of a mini news cycle every time they release an episode. Hey, PJ. Yeah, that was super fun, dude. I had a great time. Did you give Wednesday a hug for me? Are you just now waking up? Because I saw that you commented at like 1 o'clock in the morning or some shit on Instagram. And I feel like, wow, 1 o'clock in the morning last night. I went to bed at midnight. I barely made it to bed just after midnight, and I was like wrecked. I don't know how you were still standing. I mean, between the heat and the drinks and the jumping around in the band and being on my feet all day. By the time I got home, I was like, I turned into a pumpkin at midnight. You did? Ah, good. I missed her. So what's that place in Livermore that she's at? Oh, that's right. I forgot you had a hotel last night, right? So you were good. You were good to go. And you were off today. You took the day off or whatever. That's what you're doing. Let me take a moment. Where is mine? The second double crown, she asked if you were Ubering. I hope you were Ubering all night, dude, because, you know, even though you're a big guy, Well, let's be real, there were cops everywhere last night. No one needs a DUI. Those things are expensive. Alright. Do I wanna talk about Sleep? Sleep the band or Sleep actual sleep? Oh, well, honestly, Jacob, you gotta get really good ear protection. The whole reason I didn't go in to watch the band for the first hour I was there was because I forgot my earplugs. And then and it's funny, I was, like, in the middle of telling people how I forgot my earplugs and how it's a shame that I did that because normally I have earplugs stashed in, like, all my hoodie pockets, all my purses, you know, um in my work bag. Like I have got earplugs stashed damn near everywhere except on my person that day. And then I was probably, I don't know, in my like 17th time of telling that story before I thought, hey, I do have earplugs stashed everywhere. And I'll bet you I have some in my fucking glove box right now. And like an idiot, I didn't even think to look. So I went out and sure enough, boom, there were some earplugs. So I was able to go in and watch the band for the rest of the night, which was awesome because they killed it. And dude, Marta, I don't know why the mics, a lot of those mics did not seem like they were working, and I could never hear the backing vocals, but I heard Marta loud and clear, and she sounded fucking great, even on that last song. I mean, and they picked rock and roll for the last song. It's not easy to do a young Robert Plant in terms of vocals, and she nailed it. I was super stoked. I might, I'm not sure, but I might have a girl crush on Marta. Oh, was I supposed to do that? Oh no, that's the 5 o'clock hour. Okay, never mind. Right. Okay. God, I hate it when I do something wrong. That doesn't go there. That goes here. Yes, Uber, Lyft. You know what I do? I'm cheap. I always open them both and compare the prices, especially because Lyft will occasionally give me a discount, and I don't know that's happening because Lyft will just suddenly decide, hey, you're getting $3 off for this month or whatever the fuck it is. So I always open them both to see which one is going to be cheaper and faster. You made it to the gym? You went to the gym today? Fucking hell, dude. I was so bad. I ate toast and PB&J for breakfast and, uh, and didn't even get on the treadmill until, like, 30 minutes before I had to get ready. So I only did 30 minutes on the treadmill and I had breakfast, which I usually don't do, but here we are. Plus, I got a migraine last night, so I did not sleep well last night. I still have kind of a little bit of a headache going right now. So tonight when I get home, it's gonna be like grandma shit, electrolytes, a healthy dinner, and early to bed. But yeah, fuck yeah, Marta's a badass. I mean, Jesus Christ, I couldn't even imagine a fraction of the shit she does, dude. Between the kids, the marriage, the band, the bar. Fuck yeah, Marta's a badass. I do. I have a full-on girl crush on her now, that I think about it. I should call her and be like, "Can we hang out? I just wanna be near you and see how you do it because I need that level of project management and organization, for real." In Dublin, you knew you would run into someone who knows someone or something, or I grew up in Fairfield, so I do not know much about the Dublin scene. All of my Dublin knowledge comes from like people who were in the Dublin Death Patrol. I had them on the show a couple of times, and then I would go out to like barbecues and stuff with them. I was supposed to go to the rehearsal night in Livermore for the Merkins. I was on the air until like 7, and then by the time I could have gotten to Livermore, it would have been like 9, and they would have been wrapping it up, and I would have been tired anyway. Plus, there wouldn't have been any food left, and taking away the food is taking away my major motivation to do anything. Kidding. Kidding. God damn it. I almost forgot to put in my. Sorry, I got to change some sweepers around here for some stuff. Oh, what? Oh no, that was bad company. You know what? Why do I have Brian Adams back to back hours? That's a little too close for comfort. Hmm. All right. PJ, how could you like be gone overnight and have her be mad at you for not telling her when all she has to do is text you and be like, "Bitch, where you at?" I mean, it's not like you forgot to tell her you were going overnight in Dublin and then turned your phone off, right? Or did you? I'm just saying. Wait, is this done? Did anybody else get into trouble last night? That's one thing I like about that show. Everybody is very low drama, you know? 1077 The Bone and Motley Crue with Home Sweet Home. I'm Nikki Blakk, and Nikki Six from Motley Crue just said that he would be totally behind Motley Crue avatars, quote, when the time is right. And I'm like, that time might have been 2022 when you guys broke your own retirement agreement and decided to go back out on tour using backing tracks in order to perform for you. But what do I know? Do you think I'll get in trouble for dissing Motley Crue that hard? How many people are listening to the radio right now? She never texts when you're in Aftershock or in Vegas. So when you're in Aftershock or Vegas, she knows where you are. If she didn't know where you were last night, why didn't she just text? So if she didn't text, then it would suggest that she knew where you were, right? Hey, Robbie, what's happening, yo? Jacob, nobody likes a humble brag about people who carry guns. Just heads up on that. I don't live in that red state bullshit. Aw, thanks for stopping by, Robbie. What? How did you even and hear me work? All right. Well, I mean, I said before you got on here, I was like, I'm happy to talk about something or tell stories or whatever. I just need some kind of trigger in the comments of what that story is going to be, because otherwise I don't just randomly think of stuff to tell people. I'm already trying to think of stuff to tell people on the radio. Was that epic? I don't know. I might catch some backlash for it. Um, Although I did tag Nikki Six on pretty much the exact same thing on Facebook, and he has not responded. So, and I know he responds to shit on Facebook sometimes. I've seen it happen. But we'll see. I mean, that time Sebastian Bach weighed in was uncomfortable for a minute. Yeah, no, he does. He does. And I tagged him in it fair and square, you know? I mean, if he comes at me with it, I'm just gonna have to be like, I'm not so much worried about a rock star getting mad at me. I'm worried about their legion of fans who take shit way too seriously coming at me. But whatever happens, happens, as long as I don't get those Taylor Swift style death threats, I'll be okay, right? I think. Yeah. PJ, your kid knew where you were and they worked together yesterday, so she knew where you were. She's just bitter. Well, I don't know, dude. You and your wife, man, you gotta hang out with her more, and then you'll know. You won't have to guess about why she ain't talking to you. She's probably not talking to you because you don't wanna move to Portland. Yeah, never piss off the Swifties. He's been working on new 6 a.m. material. He's been working on new 6 a.m. material since Motley Crue retired. He's just mad that 6 a.m. isn't gonna make anywhere near the money Motley Crue did, because Motley Crue can make that nostalgia act money. But the pinnacle of Motley Crue's success was that fucking stadium tour with Def Leppard, and now Def Leppard's like, "Thanks, guys, it's been fun, but we need you to go now. We're gonna take Journey out because that's who we think is gonna sell the tickets." And now Motley Crue's, playing state fairs and shit, you know? They thought they were gonna be able to jump on a bill with Guns N' Roses for stadiums and keep making that big stadium money, but nope. Um which means I think Nikki Sixx is scrambling, you know? I mean, listen to that Dogs of War song. Tell me that wasn't a fucking 6 AM song that he reworked to try and make into a Motley Crue song that sounded like shit. I have I mean, Motley Crue shit out some really bad coked up tunes on fucking Theater of Pain, you know, and on Wild Side, but that Dogs of War song? Jesus. AI could have done better than that. Maybe it was an AI song. Do you think Nikki Sixx used AI to write Dogs of War? 'Cause it sounds that bad. John 5 wrote Dogs of War? No, he didn't. Dogs of War doesn't sound like anything John 5 has ever done. Dude, Ronnie, that Hawk Tuah shit is so gross and so annoying and so done and so overdone. Like, ugh. Honestly, what self-respecting woman doesn't just use lube? Hmm? Hmm? If you're out there spitting on people's dicks, well, on you. That's your own fetish. Like, if you're spitting on people's dicks, I hope you're doing it because that's what you wanna do and not because you can't find a decent water-soluble lube somewhere, because frankly, for vaginal health, you probably want to find a water-soluble lube somewhere. Otherwise, you're gonna be, like, just getting all those germs up in there, and but, that's how I feel about that. Again, Jacob, I don't give a flying fuck about your humble brags about carrying a weapon, so just FYI. Um, who was trying to be crew and failed? John 5? No, John 5 was just, like, taking a money gig for his buddy Nikki Sixx because John 5 could play anything Motley Crue in his sleep. Have you ever seen John 5 live? He's brilliant. I mean, he's a brilliant artist. He's a nice guy. I mean, you will be hard pressed to find anybody with anything bad to say about John 5 except maybe Marilyn Manson, but Marilyn Manson's kind of a dick, so, John 5 is a really nice guy who took a money gig. Um, uh wait. When was American Nation made? I don't what American are you talking about our American nation? Are you saying, do I know when our country was founded? Like, July 4th, 1776? Is that what you're asking me? Yay. Yeah. Are you trying to troll? Is that what this is? Is that what this is? Because 'Cause I'd have to be pretty fucking dumb not to know when the country was founded. I don't feel like that's a congrats, bro. I feel like that's a very low bar for congratulations. Um, I was like, "Is this a trick question? Is there an album called American Nation that I should be recalling, and when was it released?" No, you just wanted to know if I actually knew when the country that I am a citizen of was founded. Like, most Americans better know that shit. It's literally taught in the school over and over. We're bombarded with it. It's in marketing. It's what? Oh, I can't imagine there are that many dumb Americans out there. Well, I mean, I know there are 73,000,000 dumb Americans out there because they all voted for fucking Donald Trump, but hopefully they've learned something since then. Yeah, I went there. Um, all right, where was I? In this. All right. Uh, did I move that on purpose? Oh, I think I did. Yep. Okay. Well, that is too short for that, which means I could use no. God, all these fucking short songs. Killing me. Killing me. Did I just add 8 minutes to this hour and still end up 5 minutes short? Yes, yes, I did. Ah, there we go. Now we're back on time. I have never liked Trump, so no, no. Honestly, I thought he was trash in the '80s when he started becoming famous, and then I thought he was trash in the '90s when he got reality TV shows, and now I think he's vile trash since he's been president. Um, but maybe that's because I'm an American. Huh? My family goes back to the Revolutionary War. I could be in the daughters. I am. Well, my grandmother was in the Daughters of the American Revolution. So if I wanted to, I could like claim membership through her number. But why would I pay for that when they don't do shit? But anyway, yeah. So my family goes back to the Revolutionary War on both sides. So if I didn't know the year or the date, it would have been pretty fucking weird. Um, Hey, Brian, what's up? Look at you still rolling in on YouTube instead of Twitch. um, all right. Yeah. Are you going to get PJ over there? I think PJ went home. PJ, are you still in the area? B Hobbs wants to know. I already played Metallica, and no, we don't have the 8-9 minute Metallica songs. We only have the fucking 4 to 5 minute Metallica songs. Fuck yeah, I'm old. Hi, fucking 52, bruh. Biden is a sick man compared to what? I mean, honestly, compared to what? Sickest man you've seen. Well, you did see him with a cold if you watched the debates. Um, but yeah, I don't give a fuck. You know what? Honestly, because Trump is a moron. Biden is at least a sick, old, intelligent man who knows how to run a country, whereas Trump is a fucking sick, old moron who doesn't know how to run a country and hangs out with like literal fascists and is fucking stupid as shit. So yeah, I'll take the sick, dying, old, intelligent man who knows how to run a country over the fucking sack of bile in a skin suit that is Trump. I'm older than you? Well, that's not hard to do, probably. Yeah, thanks. Again, I feel like there's a very low bar for congratulations. Hi, I was born before you were. Like, I didn't really have much to do with that. What? Oh, okay. Well, glad to hear you. Brian, where were you yesterday? How did you not come out to the back lounge in Dublin? Because that shit rocked. We had so much fun. Um, what is this little like? Why do you keep doing the thinking guy? I, is that just to show that you're still here? um, let's see. Are we giving or raffling off tickets for the Eagles in Vegas? Oh, well, we're a radio station, so terrestrial radio. So what we do is caller 10. And we did actually last week. Was it last week? No, 2 weeks ago. Week before last, we gave away a trip to Vegas to see the Eagles at the Sphere. Um, whether or not we'll have another giveaway like that, I don't know. I know that next week we're giving away Rolling Stones tickets for Levi Stadium. Uh, sorry, I see you saying like 30, but I've already lost the train of whatever it was you were saying, probably because I'm old. Um, oh, 50 is the new 30. Meow, I guess, whatever. Yeah, honestly, I feel like, people focus on a woman's age entirely too fucking much, but I love Jesus. Jesus who? Is he cute? What's he do for a living? Is he smart? Is he funny? Jesus is a great guy. Yeah. Is he on Tinder? Will I come across him when I'm, like, looking for dates in the San Francisco area? Yeah, I'm also a devout atheist, so if you were looking to troll me on anything religion related, just skeet that shit out now and get it over with. Um, let's see. Jesus cuts great lawns. Funny story, do I have time to tell it? I may not. Hold on. Let's see. I gotta do this commercial, but, um, remind me I got a Jesus story that's funny. Mm, 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 mm. Brian, oh, that's the question. Brian, where were you? Why didn't you come out to Back Lounge yesterday, dude? It was like all the kids were doing it, and you woulda loved it. Yeah, PJ's there telling you what a great time he had. You only had 3 drinks at the Back Lounge? How'd you manage that? You were there for, like, 5 hours. He was eat ass? I feel like you're not having a full command of the English language there. Your prepositions are kind of out of order. Um, Other stuff, alright. Mm. Are you trying to troll Hobson saying that he wasn't at the back lounge because he was eating ass? I feel like that's unimaginative. If you're gonna troll, like, come up with something funny, you know? Um, alright, well, bummed you had other stuff to do, dude. You missed out. Gary Wendt brought his whole family? I mean, I haven't seen them in years. No, you missed out. All the cool kids were there, dude, for real. It really was. And it was a great set, and, it's always a good time, and, it was super fun. I gotta do this commercial, yo. 1 minute. You guys don't care about hearing the commercial, right? I gotta do a lot of math here. Do I know what 33 is? You mean the number or, like, the age Jesus was when he supposedly died in the story? Um, yeah, I know what 33 is. Jesus. That's okay. Dude, your trolling is really terrible. Can you, like, study up on how to troll better and then get back to me? Oh, you liked my interview with Chuck? Thanks, Robbie. Yeah, well, you'll see Chuck because they're gonna be touring the shit out of everything, and they're going out with Creator, who are killing it, and Possessed, who are so fucking classic. When was the last time Possessed went on a really good tour like that? It's been a minute. I think we only get to see Possessed, like, in the Bay because it's so hard for them to get, good tours, you know? Um, Brian Hobson has a doppelganger? Shut the front door. Aw. Well, they're just, people are who they are, right? Um, oh yeah, PJ, you should have taken a picture with him and sent it to Brian, like, on the spot. That would have been funny. You're listening for the inside scoop. I mean, you're getting it. PJ calling you sexy, bro. Oh, I think that the Phil Demmel 33 thing, I think that stems from the time, right? 333 is like a time that you think about someone you've lost or whatever. Jesus was whacked. They pumped 12 rounds into that cat. Hey, if Jesus got pumped by 12 guys on the regular, maybe Jesus was a homosexual. Did anybody ever look into that angle of the story? I mean, let's face it, they're pretty vague. He never got married. Dude dies at 33 and single back in biblical times when they were marrying him off at fucking 12 and 13. Just saying, maybe that guy was into guys. My commercial was for the Abundant Life weight loss program. Yeah, you should have pointed that dude out, bruh. Oh, yeah. Well, they know who whacked Tupac, but that guy's dead now, so it's not a thing, right? Funniest thing I ever saw was that meme with Jada Pinkett Smith on the floor of the car where Tupac is sitting in when he gets whacked. Somebody photoshopped her into that. Like, I read Jada Pinkett Smith's book too, and it's fucking funny because she really does like go on and on about Tupac. She talks about Tupac more than she talks about Will Smith. Where am I on this time? Okay, hold on. 11, 24. Nope. Um, hmm. 4 minutes short. Oh, but only 4 minutes for the hour. Yay! Mm-hmm. Hmm. Yeah, that's good. Sorry, I got to move a bunch of shit around here real quick before I can have a moment. All right, there we go. Wait a second. God damn it. Seriously? There we go. That's where it needs to be. You, on the other hand, need to go over here. All right. Phew. Glad that's over. Oh, I think Jesus was a fictional character. I think it's possible that that fictional character was gay because of the way he was written. Uh, yeah, that Judas kiss, that's some gay shit right there. Oh yeah, those because I don't know. Did Jewish guys kiss a lot back then? But not on the mouth, right? I don't know. I really don't. Jada's vile? I don't know. I ain't mad at Jada. She ain't done nothing to me. What's wrong with Jada? I mean, she's funny. She's like she's a little full of herself. You can see where she's super defensive. She's very contradictory. Um, but yeah. The chat here is better than the chat at Twitch. Ah, well, I see both chats together. So, yeah. Yeah, anytime anyone sees a doppelganger, I don't know why it isn't immediately necessary for them to get a photo. I saw this kid who looked exactly like my friend Jason Parker. You know Jason Parker, right, Thompson? So I was, like, fucking staring at him all night, like, and I'm looking at pictures of Jason on my phone, and I'm looking at this kid, and finally, I just go up to the kid, and I go, "Dude, you look so much like my friend." And he's like, "Really? I don't think so." And I go, "Oh, well, that's a picture of him my age because we're old." I go, You look exactly like he did when we were your age." And I found an old picture of him on Facebook, and I was like, "See?" And he was like, "Oh." And I was like, "So, can I take a picture with you? Because I know it sounds super weird for some random older woman to be like, 'Can I take a picture with you?'" And I was like, "But this is why." And he was like, "Yeah, sure." So I sent it to Jason. He was like, "Who's his mom?" Like, I should have inquired further. He was like, "This kid looks so much like me. I might have dated his mom. We might need to look into this." I was like, "You should get some DNA, dude." It was hilarious. What am I looking at on the PC? It's, software that runs the radio station. So, what I need to do is make sure that the songs are in an order that flows well for people to listen to, and then also that they time out at almost exactly the right times for the commercials to hit so that the commercials are hitting right at the quarter hour, and it's based on the way the ratings work, right? So, the only way we will get credit for someone listening for a quarter hour is if they listen for a full 6 minutes of that quarter hour, and if they start listening at, like, 2:13 and then they listen all the way to 2:19, um, am I doing that math right? Yeah, and they listen to 2:19, we don't get credit for that at all. We don't get credit for it on either side of the quarter hour. It may as well not have happened because they were listening for 3 minutes on one side of the quarter hour and 3 minutes on the other side of the quarter hour. So, those ratings are just gone. So what I try to do is I try to and another thing that happens is that there's studies that show that as soon as people hear someone talking, they tune out immediately. They're like, "Nope, music." So and it doesn't matter if it's a commercial or if it's a person talking or whatever. So what I try to do is try to start my talking and or the commercial breaks at exactly 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes before or after the quarter hour, because if we know people are tuning away at that point anyway, that's the safest point to have them tune away because we weren't gonna get credit for them listening anyway, unless they listened for a full 6 minutes after the new quarter hour started. So that's why I spend a lot of time staring at that screen and moving songs around to try and time it out perfectly for that, because ratings are what we live and die on here in radio. Um, Radio stations in San Francisco. Brian doesn't like the Twitch. He says the Twitch stream is difficult. Yeah, Jason Parker, just good friend of mine since high school, but just happened to be the doppelganger for this kid, you know? This kid looked just like him, but 30 years younger. It's crazy. You should have warned me about Jeremy. You think he babbles on when he's stoned? Dude, everyone babbles on. It's like they don't see me in real life. They're not on my Twitch stream, so they never get to hear me talk except for these very carefully timed 30 to 60-second bits on the radio. So when they get a hold of me in real life, it's like catching a fucking leprechaun. And then they realize that they don't want to hear me talk. They want to tell me things about themselves because they listen to me talk to them, but they never get to talk back to me. So I'll say something and they'll be like, oh my God, da da da. And it'll trigger something they want to talk back about, but can't. So over and over and over, people will come up to me at shows and be like, one time you said this thing on the air and I wanted to tell you. And I'm like, okay, here we go. But yeah, so honestly, I'm totally used to that. And he seems to like to pitch things and then he seems to kind of like meander in his pitch. And I'm just like, I don't need your whole backstory. If you're trying to sell me something, I don't fucking care. The answer is no and thank you, goodbye. So, he's fine. I have no problem telling people no. That's the thing. I don't feel obligated to stand there and listen to somebody's bullshit if they're, like, meandering and being lame and boring. I'll give everyone their opportunity. Like, if you're telling me an interesting story about something that you thought of when I said something on the radio, I'm happy to hear it. But if that story goes on and on and on and on, I'm asking you to get to the fucking point because there's 200 people here and another 10% of them wanna talk to me. So, I gotta ration my time. Plus, especially yesterday, um, with Gary Wentz family being there, and I'm having known them since 1987 and having not seen them since probably 2015, um, I wanted to spend as much time with them as I could. "Hey, Roy, what's happening, man?" Yeah, you prefer the YouTube too? Maybe I should dump the Twitch entirely. Is anybody even on Twitch right now? Let's see. Yeah, there's 3 people on Twitch, and I can see everybody's comments. All in one spot. So, yeah, so if you see me answering a comment that you don't see, it's because it's on one or the other. It's on the opposite platform that you're on. Um, who was trolling? Was it on Twitch? Oh, the troll guy? Oh, he's still here. Uh, he's on Twitch. Well, that makes sense. He's asking me if Bigfoot is real right now and what do I think? He thinks it's a hairy man. I don't know. Some girls are into that sort of thing. I don't know. His trolling is almost so basic. I wonder if he's a bot. But yeah, he's on Twitch. Yeah, we need fucking bodyguards. Yeah, honestly. There have been some times when I'm like, "Someone needs to walk me to my car. I'm not leaving alone." Yeah, it's scary. Oh, yeah, the Parker doppelganger. Yeah, next time I see you, remind me. I'll see if I can find the picture of that kid. I took it at the DNA lounge, so I think I might be able to just, geo search that shit and pull it up on my phone. You'll see this kid and be like, "It's Parker!" When was the last time Gary Holt and I talked? I ran into him and Lisa at that Merciful Fate show in Sacramento. Um, I feel like I've run into them again since then, but I'm not sure. Uh, Gary and I have a couple interviews though up on my YouTube page, some older ones. Sorry, my fucking nails are disintegrating on me. We also have a text line here at the studio. Um, all right. Where were we? Oh, yeah, I just got everything timed out perfectly for the hour, and I've only got 2 more hours to time out and 3 more hours to record before I start working on tomorrow's shift. Oh god, that Gary and Kirk interview is so epic, right? And I'm so stoked that the guys were able to, put it together that way, like, Jaeger was able to cover me on air, and I was able to go across the street and have drinks with the guys the whole time we were supposed to be on air. And I was like, "I don't know what to say, dude. I'm supposed to have these guys on, and, nobody can get them to leave the Thirsty Bear. They're having cocktails." So I was like, "I'm just gonna go see if I can get them out of the bar." And then I basically just joined them at the bar. And I was like, "Well, I'm not gonna say no if Kirk Hammett's offering to buy me a fucking drink," you know? So then I'm hanging out at the bar with Kirk and Gary and just calling in to the station, and he's, like, putting that on air, and I'm like, "I'm here with the guys. I'm trying to get them across the street." But they're at the bar. That shit is funny. Yes, I am at work for real, dude. I am literally on the air right now. You can listen at 1077 The Bone FM radio in San Francisco. You can listen to 1077thebone.com, and you can listen on the Bone app. What are hidden hairy man all is bullshit? Dude, are you trying to type with one hand or what? Um, well, we all have potty mouth. I don't know if you could tell. I curse like a sailor. If you've ever watched, if you're familiar with our morning show, Lamont and Snelly, they have a podcast that they do called the Bonus Bone podcast that they do after the on-air shift. And Lamont is nonstop cursing. It's hilarious. Um, oh, did I miss a bunch of stuff? Oh, I missed a bunch of stuff. Hold on, I'm scrolling back. Um, no, Jacob, you are not the troll. The troll is the guy on Twitch, the other guy on Twitch. You should be able to see him. He's, you know, posting. Yes, it's a real radio station in San Francisco on 1077 FM. Have I seen him? Has has Robbie seen Bigfoot? You've met him, you did a commercial with him? With Shaq? You did a commercial with Shaq? No, that's Damone from Fast Times, the scalper. Let's see. What am I missing? Dabone. It's nice and sunny there. Yeah. Well, no, the fog is moving in. I saw Carl rolling in as I was driving in. Um, but it is sunny, yeah, for the most part, and then when the fog rolls in, it'll get cold and overcast here in the city, but by the time that fully takes over the city, I'm usually on the bridge headed home where it's hot and sunny again. Um, "Ha Jacob, the troll is telling you that you're the troll, but don't buy it." You had to drag Wednesday back to the bar last night? Oh, wow. Well, that's rude. She's so nice. I don't understand why people come at her like that. Oh, you're in Norway. You're trolling from Norway? That's a long way to that tracks, right? Because Norway has the trolls. Yeah, the weather sucks in Norway pretty much year-round, doesn't it? Hey, tell me what's up with this. What's up with, like, the hot dogs wrapped in tortillas? Why is that a Norwegian thing? I don't get it. Like, Norwegian cuisine confuses me. It's like, we like reindeer sausage and hot dogs wrapped in tortillas. No, she should never be there by herself. No woman should be shutting down a bar by herself because that shit ain't safe. Not in this day and age at all. And not back when I was doing it. I remember being really fucking paranoid. Um, Basically, I would have somebody watch the bar, and then I would move my car to like right in front of the bar, and I would refuse to close unless my car was like right outside the door. And we had cameras, and that was the closest thing I could do at that shitty bar in Sassoon, that Vic's Pioneer bar. Not everybody loves that food. I know, but like, why does anybody love it at all? Like, why is it like a Norwegian classic cuisine? Seriously, it's a hot dog wrapped in a tortilla. I'm confused as to the appeal of that. Let's see. Boston. Mm. I don't know. Do you ever just run out of shit to talk about? Oh, well, thanks for stopping in. You know, even if you were just trolling a little bit, it was fun to have you. I always like answering inane questions, and also I feel like you asked me a lot of inane questions that I answered, and then I asked you one question and you didn't answer it. So next time you come through, let me know why Norwegians are so big on hot dogs wrapped in tortillas. I am eager to find the answer. Jesus, a size 22 shoe? Does he have his own cobbler? All right, I need to find something to talk about. What else is going on in the world? Shit, PJ, you're fired. I didn't do the concert calendar again today. Fuckity fuck fuck. What else is happening? Boston, Quiet Riot, Mich, Mich. Hmm. Ah, Jesus. This fucking guy. Oh, this is fun. Shit, I forgot I was gonna post that too. All right, hold on. We did do that one, and there's not any others. Oh, whoops a daisy. I was supposed to do that commercial at 5 o'clock, not 4 o'clock. But hopefully no one cares. That's the big fucking deal, right? Plus 4 o'clock's a better time for them to get the commercial, really. I mean, if we drill down to it, 4 o'clock is the more advantageous time. And that's the only obligation to everything else is just 1077 The Bone in Boston with Rock and Roll Band. I'm Nikki Blakk, and this isn't rock and roll, but I think it's kind of hilarious that Justin Timberlake just announced that he's going to be opening a sports bar with Tiger Woods. And the two of them now have DUIs. And I'm just trying to figure out what they're going to call this sports bar. Is it going to be, I don't know, walk off? Okay, where were we? Oh, Catherine, welcome back. Look at me remembering names. Yeah. You should like that because I never remember names. Terrible at it. You're 10 years behind in rock research, so you just started checking out Led Zeppelin and The Who. Who's next? Get it? But who's next? Have you gotten far enough to know that that's the name of a Who album? Okay. Um, you're more than 10 years behind if you are just now getting into Zepp and The Who, BT dub. You're like 50 years behind. Have you heard of this guy, Jimi Hendrix? He's pretty cool. You don't have to try the hot dog and the tortilla. Yeah, I don't get it. Hot dog in a tortilla, it's a thing. It's like a Norwegian thing. Like, it's what they eat. It's their sandwich. I don't get it. It makes no sense. Any hints as to who I might interview next? Fuck if I know. I don't have anybody on schedule. Um, maybe I started telling this story and forgot, and then got busy. All the interviews that I've done since I started doing interviews again kind of happened by accident. Um, or because somebody reached out to me and was like, "Hey, we're trying to promote this. Can you help us?" And I'd be like, "Why not?" Right? And it was funny because for a while there, every single person that contacted me was like, "Hey, can we do this tomorrow?" And I was like, "Whoa, can you publish, the day after or whatever?" So kudos to our digital team because I reached out to them and was like, "Can you help me with this? Because I do not have the ability to turn these interviews around editing wise, that fast. I don't have that kind of time, as you have seen." Um, and speaking of, um, and they, to their credit, came on board like gangbusters because they need the content and they need original content because it's as a corporation and as a radio station, we can get sued if we, you know, use content without permission or paying for it. And so they were like, "Yeah, original content, fuck yeah." And so I was like, "Cool, you guys use it on your stuff, I'll use it on my stuff, and the station will benefit on both sides, and great." But yeah, so I guess nobody's called me this week. I did reach out to Chuck Billy. That one was because hang on a second. That was funny. I was walking through the hallway and our digital guy who works from home all the time, the guy who does the video editing, he was in the station, which is a rare occasion. So I stopped to say hi and he's like, "We should do more of those interviews." And I was like, I go, "I would do all kinds of interviews if I had the resources." I go, "But I go, I could call up any metal guy in the Bay right now and probably just go sit down with them and do an interview." And I go, I could have an interview by tomorrow if we needed to, if I wanted to." And I go, "But I don't have a cameraman and I don't have, and I've got to have you edit the stuff." And he was like, "I'll do that." And I was like, "You'll be my cameraman?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "All right." And I texted Chuck Billy on the spot. And I was basically like, "Hey man, what are you up to?" I was thinking to see if wanted to see if you want to like do an interview or something. And and he was like, "I'm actually down the street from your house recording right now." And I was like, "Oh, well, that's helpful." I go, what's your schedule looking like this week since you're already going to be like right down the street from me?" And he was like, "I could do tomorrow or I could do I think it was like tomorrow or Friday or something like that." And I was like, "Well, tomorrow's Juneteenth. And I looked at the camera guy, I was like, "You wanna spend your Juneteenth holiday recording Chuck Billy and me?" And he was like, "Fuck yeah, I do." So, bro drove up from Gilroy, uh, to Concord to record the interview and make it happen, and I was like, "See, I told you I could interview anybody, I just gotta I just need the resources." Um, so I probably should call someone else and be like, "Hey, you wanna talk?" You know, like the thing with the Phil interview, when I interviewed Phil Demmel, it was because he and I were hanging out chatting at, Omega Wave, and he was like, "Yeah, we should totally do an interview," and I was like, "Yeah, that would be great," 'cause, you know, we could talk about the Carrie King thing, we could talk about Category 7, we could talk about, the Merkin show coming up, and he was like, "Yeah, absolutely." So then, I texted him and I was like, "Hey, so I don't know, when's a good time? Do you wanna do this, maybe on your day off in Hamburg when you guys are on tour?" And he was like, "Why can't we just do it now?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, let's do it now." So I just sent him a StreamYard link and we, you know, had a chat for like 90 minutes after work. I was so tired. I was like, dude, I gotta go to bed. Stop talking. But it was fun because it's great to get to sit down and talk to somebody for a long time like that. It was like a big catch up as well as an interview. So that was cool. But yeah, that's how the interviews kind of happened. So if I were better organized or if I had an intern, I might be better at it. I say that because PJ likes to pretend he's my intern, but he does fuck all. Da, da, da. Growing up in Oakland, all you knew was R&B and hip hop. I grew up in Fairfield, dude. You know how hard it was to find shit in Fairfield? It's pretty hard. And there was no internet. You got the internet, buddy. I don't feel sorry for you at all. I had to drive to Berkeley to get BAM magazine, just to get magazines, dude. Crazy. Um, oh, well, yeah, I was mostly only exposed to shit from '86 on too, because I was like 14 or 13. I was 13 in '86. Yeah. I turned 14 in November. You didn't get to talk to Phil Demmel. Oh, well, yeah, you're not gonna get to talk to Phil Demmel at the fucking Merkins gig because he has to spend 4 hours coordinating, like, 35 musicians that play 40 something songs. So, yeah. Uh, Phil creating another song for YouTube? I'm not sure what you mean by that. I don't know what you mean by Halloween either. They're gonna do a Christmas show for sure, but if there's a Halloween thing, I haven't heard about it. No, I don't think I have anything. Um, oh, Brian's caught up. Well, you're one of us. I'm still trying to catch up. Um, hell yeah, Catherine, what's up? Yeah, that's me just now getting to that part after I saw you come back. Um, who? Robbie, are you making a who pun? And I'm not catching it. Pre-86, you'd be like 10. Yeah, pre-86, I would be like 12, 11. The inner circle is a person named Catherine who chose that name in like 2013 when she joined YouTube for no discernible reason, but is into metal from Black Sabbath and all the way up until today. Yeah, she was asking me earlier about, Cannibal Corpse. I guess she saw my Cannibal Corpse interview, I'm assuming. I don't know. T oh, I'm Black Sabbath, Randy Rhoads doc. Which doc? The part about, like, Randy and Sharon, like, almost hooking up, or the part where Randy, like, dies in a horrible fiery plane crash right in front of them practically, and yeah, the whole thing is awful. Um, hot dog and the tortilla was a Mexican ghetto dish. Hot dog and a tortilla is everyone's ghetto dish, except in Norway, where it's, like, the thing. I went to the Norwegian festival, and everywhere it's hot dogs and tortillas, and everybody's like, "These are so great, these hot dogs and tortillas," and I'm just like, when you go to a festival, like, if you were to go to a Mexican festival, you might get any number of dishes, but you would not be getting the fucking hot dog and a tortilla, right? Right? So I'm saying the Norwegian festival, that's the fucking thing. That's the thing everybody gets. It's a goddamn hot dog and a tortilla, and it makes no sense. I have contacted Chuck Billy oh, yeah. I have Chuck and Tiff. Are you telling me I should, like, put their I should make their names code names in my phone? That's what I do for the famous people on my phone, but I forget that Chuck is famous, so I just have Chuck under Chuck. I should probably change that. I have code names for, like, Rob Halford and Carrie King and that sort of thing. So, if you do steal my phone and try to find them by, like, using the facial recognition from my corpse, you're not gonna know who they are, and I've got hundreds, if not thousands of contacts, so good luck finding them. 'Em. I'm not issuing a challenge. I'm actually just hoping that nobody will kill me for my phone numbers and use my corpse to open the phone. Alright, Brian, Twitch stream's good when you're stationary, yada, yada, da, da, YouTube. Well, you know what, dude? You do you. If the YouTube is what works for you, stick with it. Um Keep him, like it's my choice. No, no, no. I have no power over the digital team. The digital team has their own supervisor, and our digital team, by the way, is responsible for all the digital content for all of the radio stations here, and I believe our LA cluster. So there's one woman in charge of the entire digital team, and she has one guy that does all of the graphic and video editing. And so he has a very big job board of things that have to happen for KMBR, KSFO, whatever those fucking LA stations are that we have, and the Bone. And so my stuff on the Bone is also, just I'm not saying it's not important. I'm just saying that like, it's a very full plate and I'm on the edge, especially compared to KMBR. Their social media is like and it has to be because they're a sports talk station. I need a few of Hims video dudes. Hims? What's a Hims? Are you talking about that band, His Imperial Majesty? They broke up. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm confused. PJ will intern. PJ thinks he's an intern, but he hasn't done shit. That Metal Zone concert calendar still hasn't gone up, and it's fucking 4:30 on Friday. Oh, 72? Fuck yeah, that was a good year. Yeah, Fairfield. I single-handedly brought BAM magazine to Vacaville in, like, 1992. Until then, you had to drive into the Bay Area to get a hold of BAM magazine. I took up a collection at my record store and, like, paid for the shipping because they would ship to every record store within a certain area for free, but Fairfield and Vacaville was, like, a bridge too fucking far, like, literally because of the Vallejo Bridge. They wouldn't do it into Solano County. Is there a way I can get James Hetfield or Lars Ulrich? I think you were gone when we were talking about the Metallica podcast. Um, but I do have past interviews with James Hetfield and Lars Ulrich, so it's not impossible. And I just did an interview with Robert Trujillo, a couple months ago. That was random. Oh my god. So Robert basically a long time ago, I got my little brother a job with Metallica, and he worked for them for like 8 years. So and that was years ago. My brother works. He's a teacher now, and so Rob basically texted my brother and was like, he texted my little brother and was like, "Hey, um, we need a little help boosting the profile of this suicidal tendency show that we're doing at the UC Theater. Do you think your sister could help?" And so he was like, "Do you mind if I give Robert Trujillo your phone number?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's okay. Rob has it." I go, "If Rob would turn to his wife and ask her, she has it." I go, "He could have just asked his wife for my number, but whatever. He just figured texting you was easier and probably didn't realize Chloe had it, so it's fine." So then Robert's like, "Yeah, hey, can we do this?" And I go, "Yeah." I go, "If you and I do an interview, I'll bet you that'll raise the profile exponentially, and then we'll do some ticket giveaways and see what we can do to like promote the show." And that's how that one came about. But now that Metallica have their podcast, the podcast is going to be the priority for getting, comments and things from the guys. And I think a lot of that is to alleviate them from having to do press as much, right? So now they can trigger a press cycle with all of that. So I think that unless the guys have a side project to promote, it's going to be a lot harder for me to get them to sit down, especially since there's no Metallica show coming to the Bay Area anytime soon. It's possible there's talk of Metallica coming to the Bay Area in 2025 with the stadium tour, and if that happens, then we might get a sit down, and then I think it'll probably end up being a fight with who here at the station gets the sit down with them. Um, Chasta and I will probably have to be like, all right, who gets who if they give us more than one. They meter that stuff out. It's the more famous you are, the less they have to talk to you, kind of thing, right? But because we're their hometown station and because they've known us all for so long, and I mean, I first met the Metallica guys on the Injustice for All tour in like 1989, so they know me. But also, I was going to say they're not inviting me to the Christmas party, but I have been to the Metallica Christmas party a couple times. But I don't go to the Christmas party every year, so it's not like I'm not like in, but I'm in a bit. I'm Metallica adjacent. If that makes any sense. So we'll have to see how it goes. Oh shit, hold on. Whoa. 1077 The Bone and the Rolling Stones with Beast of Burden. I'm Nikki Blakk, and the Rolling Stones are coming to Levi Stadium July 17th. Those tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com, and starting next week, 1077 The Bone is going to be giving you a chance to win those tickets. Be listening in the 7 a.m., 11 a.m., or 3 p.m. hours for your chance at Stone tickets, only on 1077 The Bone. It's the Clash on the Rock of the Bay. I'm Nikki Blakk, and if the question is, should I stay or should I go? The answer is definitely go, especially when it comes to the full rock night out at the It's the Clash on 1077 The Bone. I'm Nikki Blakk, and if the question is, should I stay or should I go? You should always go, especially if it's a bone rock night out. Red, White, and Booze 2 was off the chain at the Back Lounge in Dublin. The Merkin set was epic. It was all kinds of skate rink jams and just karaoke crazy songs. There's all my favorite things were all in one place. The whole Bay Area music scene turned out. Thank you, Bonehead family, for coming to join us. If you've got photos or video that you're posting, please tag us in it because we love to share that stuff. Mm. Mm. Mm-mm. There you go. All right. How caught up am I on this? Where was I? Oh, Fairfield, James or Lars. Yeah, so the less complicated answer of can I get James or Lars is maybe. Probably not anytime soon, but possibly next year. Did I listen to the new Category 7 tune, Mousetrap? No, not yet. I haven't had time. I've been busy talking to you. Um, aw, you were 2 in 1986? Did I babysit you? Because I was a 13-year-old metalhead babysitter. That happened. Catherine, you were born in 2000. Aw, look at the big face. So cute. Well, if you have any questions about life before you were born, I am here to answer them because I was alive then. I know it's weird. The generation gaps, they are a thing, but, you know what? I got nothing against Gen Z or millennials. I'm tired of hearing people complain about them. Honestly, I feel like Gen Z and millennials have been given a lot more, emotional tools to deal with trauma and that sort of thing than Gen X and definitely boomers. Um, and that kind of makes them a lot easier to relate to because they aren't constantly throwing up all of this ego to protect them from everything, which is why I think everybody thinks they're soft, but they're not. So, kudos to you. Do I like the Used? I mean, I don't dislike them, but I'm not a fan. I'm not a big fan. I'm not like, "Eh." I'm not like, "Oh my god, the Used." I'm like, "Oh, the Used, yeah, mm." If they were playing, I would watch, but I would not go to see them intentionally if the option was to stay home and have snacks and go to bed early. PJ, you are a horrible intern. You're so fired. The Merkins will do something for Halloween, as according to the YouTube channel. Uh, are you looking at a YouTube channel for the band The Merkins or the YouTube channel for there's a The Merkins out there that's not related to the band, and I think they accidentally got tagged in one of our Instagram posts. And if you went and looked at them, they do have a lot of Halloween stuff on there. Yeah, that's not the same Merkins, that's a different Merkins. It's a whole other thing. Let's see, 24. Oh, I remember 24. It's all downhill after 25, so I can live it up now. Get all the fast food you can. Yeah, drink shitty Diet Cokes and whatever. Get a fucking icy. Oh my god, get a blue icy. Yeah, because by the time you're 25, you can't have any of that shit anymore. You gotta grow up and start eating like an adult. Norway is so behind in that. I know, right? It's weird. I'm telling you, the Norwegian festival, like, my memory, granted, this was a long time ago, but the only things I really remember from the Norwegian festival were the hot dogs and tortillas and the reindeer sausage. And I remember being hungry, right? It was like reindeer sausage over rice and hot dogs and tortillas. And I was like, "Well, this is really different from the German festival." But my little brother's best friend is of Norwegian descent, and he was like, "Oh, yeah, this is real. This is their thing," and I was like, "What the fuck?" Let's see. The history of Randy Rhoads from growing up to classically trained to lessons to Quiet Riot to the crash. What was the name of that documentary? I don't know if I've seen it. It's starting to not sound familiar. So we can interview Gary's not here, dude. Gary's, like, fucking at the up in the foothills now. So, no, we're not interviewing Gary. Set? Sure. Um, EXO is tough, right? Like, if I catch Tom on a day when he's when he's in the city, but most of the time Tom is well, I guess sometimes if he's not in the city, he's in Orinda, right? Yeah, Tom Hunting would be the only Exodus member still here. I mean, Jack Gibson used to be my fucking neighbor. I used to be able to walk to Jack's house and have drinks at his tiki bar. I miss Jack's tiki bar. I miss Jack being my neighbor. But yeah, Jack's in Tennessee now. So I mean, I could interview them like, uh, this, right? I could do a StreamYard Zoom style interview with them, with anybody, really. So if they wanna do that. Walter was asking me about going on the vault with Zet, and I was like, "Why doesn't Zet ask me on the vault if he wants me on the vault? We can do that." But, I don't know. I wouldn't even worry about Gary's writing because Gary Holt is a beast when it comes to writing music. Um, the rest of the guys just go about their lives while Gary writes all the fucking music. Oh, you know what? Lee. I could interview Lee. He's down the street from me. I think he's still down the street from me. I haven't talked to him for a minute, but last I checked, he was living, like, in Martinez area. Yeah. Uh, PJ, there's only 3 shows. 3 shows of what? What? Oh, there's only 3 shows this weekend. Well, no, didn't we find more and I just haven't, updated it? You know what? I should do that right now. Where are we at? Alright, I only got hold on. I gotta work. Alright, that's fine. Um, no. Oh god. Uh, 13 minus I need 7 minutes? Jesus. Alright, I'm gonna have to knock some of this shit out, you guys. Hold on. Plus, I'm not gonna be able to delete some of these lamer songs. I'll try and bury them behind the commercials, but it's gonna be tough. Okay. That's good. Oh, well, there I go. Good job. Good job, me. Okay. Um, I don't know if I was headbanging yesterday or what, or if I was just doing this, but my neck hurts like shit today. Oh my god, you're prepping for Hurricane Beryl? Ah, girl, be safe. You know, fill up everything you have with fresh water. Everything, like every bottle, every bucket. Like if the water's still flowing, fresh water is gonna be the thing. You can go for 7 days without food, but you can only go for 3 without water. Okay, I may have just made that up, but I think it's something similar to that. And then, prioritize eating all the perishables first. You probably know this. You've been through hurricanes. Hurricanes scare the shit out of me. You know what's funny? Being in San Francisco, all my friends that are, like, in, hurricane like, I know a bunch of people in New Orleans randomly. So all my friends that live in Louisiana are always like, "I don't know how you deal with them earthquakes out there. Fuck earthquake. I take a hurricane any day over an earthquake because you see it coming. You get the fuck out of the way." No, you guys never fucking evacuate for hurricanes. Nobody ever wants to evacuate for the hurricane. I think half my friends evacuated for Katrina, and that was fucking Katrina. It was nuts. And, I'm like, "Yeah, okay, sure, but you may never know when an earthquake is coming, but 90% of the earthquakes are, like, not even noticeable." We've had 1 shitty earthquake my whole life, and I'm 52. The 1989, right? So and that's just in NorCal, right? So in NorCal, we had 89, and in SoCal, we had 91, and then in Napa had, like, a 5 a while back that, like, broke some things, but I don't think anybody died, right? It just, like, broke a lot of wine bottles. The real tragedy was the wine bottles that died that day. So, most of our earthquakes are fine. Nobody gets hurt. So, fuck those fucking hurricanes. Yeah, dude, BAM Magazine was the shit back then, especially with no internet. How would you know when anything was happening? You had to have BAM. As a 24-year-old, you know a lot about metal in general, especially the crazy stuff, extremely great stuff happens. Nice. You know what? Again, I gotta point out, being 24, you have the internet. When I was 24, the internet didn't exist. Everything was on paper, and there was no place to go find that paper, like, unless you went to the library and looked up old newspapers, but newspapers weren't reporting on metal. And nobody was archiving metal magazines except other metalheads. So the only way you could look up old metal history was to know an old metalhead that saved their magazines and then asked to see them. And then you had to sit there at their house and read them because they wouldn't let you borrow them because they would never trust you to bring them back. So all you gotta do is ask Siri to get you metal facts, whereas we had to, like, Sherlock Holmes that shit. Be grateful. you saved your BAMs? Nice. The Informant. I think Informant was more South Bay based, wasn't it? I never got that one. I mean, I know it existed, but I never got it. Hmm. I don't know. Oh, Out. Oh, I see what you're talking about. Well, thanks for stopping by, Robbie. Maybe I'll see you on Monday. I'm gonna try and do this on the weekdays. I wouldn't bother praying that I get to talk to Lars because Lars is the only god you have to pray to as to whether or not I'm gonna get to talk to Lars. Maybe Peter Mensch, who or somebody at Q Prime, but, yeah, it's yeah. And it's only gonna be if Lars wants to do it, you know? But I got a couple Lars interviews if you wanna check them out up on I think I've got 2 on my YouTube. I don't remember now. One of them was audio only now that I think about it. When I talked to him I don't think we got video when I talked to him at the Giants game. Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, it's tough, especially if you're, like, moving a lot in your 20s, and you don't wanna haul around a big box full of BAM magazines because you don't have room for them. Oh, yeah, I don't know how Ron Quintana is, like, living in a fucking '80s museum, it's crazy. What do I think of Gen Alpha? Who's Gen Alpha? I don't know if I know anybody from Gen Alpha. Would that be people that are 18 now? How old is Gen Alpha right now? Is Gen Alpha in the building? My top 5 bands of all time, I don't know, of all time, Ramones, Metallica, AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, um, of all time or that I love, because of all time, I don't want that pressure. It's too broad a category. You need to break it down more, but also ABBA. You're hungry. Fuck, I'm starving. I gotta eat my steel cut oats. She has till 30 to fuck it all up. No, she doesn't. As a woman in American society, you need to start eating healthy in your mid-20s because we are at greater risk for heart attack. So there. Zoom whoever in EXO about anything that they'll talk to me about. Okay. Do I have Tom's number? I think I have Tom's number. Shit, I guess I better put Tom under a fucking secret name too, huh? Jesus, I better go through my whole fucking phone. Start secret naming people or somebody's gonna fucking kill me for my phone numbers. Let's see. Gary is a beast. Gary has always been a beast. Go back and listen to any Exodus album. I'm telling you, it's true. I remember asking Jack about that once over TV3. I miss Jack. Yeah, and he's like, "Nah, man, Gary writes all that shit. He just fucking does it." And he doesn't even have it all written when they go in the studio. He just finishes it off in the studio because he's that good. Like, Gary is a font of riffs, and they are all brutal as fuck. Yeah. Oh, Randy Rhoads Reflections of a Guitar Icon. It's on Tubi. Alright, I see you, Tubi. Tubi's the one that's like commercials, but free, right? They've been pushing that lately. Gary Holt is forever a legend. The fuck yeah, he is. Only 3 shows at Pine Street this weekend. No, remember we looked it up and found more. That's what I was in the middle of doing, huh? Timing out the hour because I need to email Shasta about it. Um, you know, I think I only need like one more song. Hmm. And you know what? I'll bet you I can figure that song out myself. It's getting dark in here. The fog must have rolled into North Beach by now. Let's see. I legit just looked at Monday like it was today. Uh-huh. Okay. Have you tried Veeps or there's another one out there? People keep sending me all these like streaming services for music stuff, and I just haven't had time to look at any yet. You drank Hurricane Band too. Isn't that where Kelly Hansen is from? The singer for Foreigner? Wasn't he from Hurricane? Am I remembering that right? Never been through an earthquake? Oh, don't worry about earthquakes. They're easy. Seriously easy. How far behind am I on this? Okay, let's the other thing is that hurricanes happen all the time, and the hurricanes that happen all the time are really serious. It's a rare occasion that a hurricane doesn't fuck some shit up, whereas it's a rare occasion that an earthquake does fuck some shit up. Wicked Auto Works, where'd you come from? Wisconsin. You drove here a few weeks ago? Aw, did you get to see the bench? I was in the hospital with when Paul was sick. It was horribly sad. Gary was there, he brought an Exodus shirt, and he kinda just put it over him because he was wearing a hospital gown, and he didn't want Paul to, like, have to be there in a hospital gown, but he was unconscious. It was really hard to see. I'll be honest, I never saw Legacy. Um, I was too young when Legacy was playing. I didn't see him until they were Testament for sure. You were at home for the '89 quake? Me too. Oh, and then you moved to LA just in time for fucking Northridge, huh? Damn. I heard Northridge, like, was worse because, like, more housing went down during Northridge, whereas with us, all the casualties seem to be on the Nimitz Freeway, right? Was it LA quake in '94? Yeah, I wasn't there. I've interviewed Jeff Becerra. Is that not on my YouTube page? Yeah. Yeah, no, Jeff and I have talked. Um, yeah, he came into the studio in the way back when Possessed first reformed. Um, shit, is that not on you know what? It might not be on the YouTube page. It might have been audio only. A lot of that stuff got lost. But yeah, I could call Jeff. Um, are you being facetious when you say Stairway to Heaven is underplayed? Because I do agree it is underplayed these days, but it goes through phases where it gets overplayed like crazy. Gen Alpha, 2012 to 2026. Oh, so Gen Alpha are like fucking kids right now. I don't even know anybody who's a kid right now, right? Do I? I guess my nephews are Gen Alpha, and I adore my nephews. So cool. And Gen Z is 96 to 2012. Okay. All right. Um, yeah, I'll let you know. I mean, right now they seem a little obsessed with Snapchat, but hopefully they'll grow out of it. Is Gary still doing Catterday? I haven't seen that lately. I wonder if I unfollowed him. I have to go look. Sometimes when I see somebody over and over and over, I get a little tired of it, and then I'm like, "Catherine, you're from Utah? Are you SLC punk?" I have a friend who moved from California to Utah because she's all MAGA now and stuff, and she needed to live someplace where she could open carry and worship God, some other weird shit, yeah. I keep an eye on her Facebook just because I like to see what the crazy people are doing. It was a bummer. She was a good friend and somebody I knew, like, literally in elementary school, and now she's all like, "Listen up, patriots! We can't shop in regular stores because that's what the fucking deep state wants you to do. Now you have to only buy all your household goods from this mail order company that's for patriots." And I'm all, "Holy shit, girl, you are off the fucking" I was gonna say off the reservation, and I keep having to stop myself from saying that because it's racist. It's just one of those phrases that's, like, stuck in your head from racist times that you have to stop yourself from saying. Alright. Let's see. Twitch is a horrible app. You're a YouTuber. Oh, hey, you're welcome. I just now started doing YouTube over Twitch, and so far, YouTube is winning the battle. 8 YouTube and 3 Twitch. Probably because 'cause I'm not a gamer. I think Twitch is very, very geared towards gamers, and I just kinda, like, popped on as, like, me doing what I do. Oh, hold on. It's Bryan Adams singing about the summer of '69, back when he was 10 years old. Yeah, he wrote the song, but then he just changed it to summer of '69 because, 69, dude. The Eagles are on the long goodbye tour, which, as we all now know, is going to be parking itself at the Sphere in Las Vegas from September through December. Will they continue on the Sphere through past December? Whoops, hold on. Let's try that again. It's Bryan Adams on 107.7 The Bone in the summer of '69, as in '69, dude, back when he was 10 years old. Basically, he wrote the song and then decided summer of '69 just sounded cool. Also, he was trying to make a '69 reference, but we all just didn't know he was that dirty and just thought he meant it literally. Go figure. The Eagles have parked their long goodbye tour at the Sphere in Vegas from September to the end of the year. Will they continue past the end of the year? Don't know yet. Hmm. Hmm? Oh, what did I do here? Oh, that's fine. All right, I got to wrap it up here because I got to do a bunch of work before 7 o'clock. Otherwise, I have to stay late, and I hate staying late, especially on a Friday. So where were we? Dun, dun, dun. 89 was roller, 94 was more violent, but slightly less magnitude. I beg to differ on the magnitude. I'm pretty sure that it was like 6.9 for Loma Prieta and 7.1 for Northridge, but I think because Loma Prieta was centered near Watsonville, that the majority of the damage of the heavy hit happened in the hills where there wasn't a lot of structure, whereas Northridge happened where there were a lot of buildings. And so I think that that's kind of what made that happen that way. Yes, you're being facetious about Stairway. Well, fuck you, man. It's yeah, I get it. It goes through phases. And if you're old, you've heard Stairways a billion times. But if you're Gen Alpha, you've never heard it. And if you're Gen Z, you're like, oh, wow, this song is cool. And you don't mind hearing it again. I'll never forget the day some kid called me up like 15 years ago and he wanted to hear Wanted Dead or Alive by Bon Jovi. And I was like, dude, what were you born in the 90s? And he goes, yeah, how did you know? I go, because if you were alive in the 80s, you are sick of that fucking song and you never want to hear it again, much less to call a radio station up to fucking request it. Because no. And he was like, oh, wow, yeah. And that's when I learned that there were people younger than I that weren't scarred by the music of the time. Oh, I did not mean, Catherine, that you were MAGA just because you were in Utah. I totally did not mean to imply that. I just Utah for now, Utah always reminds me of this friend that I've had since elementary school who is now all MAGA crazy. I'm not kidding, dude. The fucking shit she posts. I'm just like she's into chemtrails now as a thing, and I was like, girl, chemtrails were a fucking conspiracy theory in the 90s. Why are chemtrails a conspiracy theory again now? They were debunked before the internet happened. Like, stop. Anyway, that's just my own personal trauma. I did not mean to project it onto you. Back over to YouTube because you're not a gamer either. Yeah, I think that, like I said, it's made for gamers, and gamers just automatically have, like video cards. They have huge amounts of storage space. They have faster connections. They have higher end material. They are not twitching on their phones for the most part. So YouTube makes sense for people who aren't using their Twitch setups. Um, Ryan, don't fucking out her. Damn, dude. I do not want to fucking, I didn't want to out her. Yeah, delete that. Would you? Can I delete that? I can't delete that. So would you please delete that? People don't need to know her name. I don't need that. I don't need to call her out at that level. It hurts me to see her become the person she's become, but I also don't want her targeted. All right. Yeah. Good night. Good night. Good night. Later, everybody. Um, 89 was a 7.2. Well, it started out as a 6.9, so maybe they upgraded it. But I can guarantee you that in 1989, the Loma Prieta earthquake was a 6.9 because we were all like 69, dude. Yeah. Um. Oh, see? Hey, I told you. They must have upgraded because I'm pretty sure Northridge was a 7.1 to start with. But yeah. All right. What? Fuck Wikipedia. I don't know. Go to the Geological Society and figure it out if you care. I don't care that much. Metal Zone concert calendar. I got to do that. I gotta get off this to do that because you guys keep, and I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love that you guys have all the comments because this has been super fun, but I have to get work done. So I can't keep the comments anymore. But being in both, 94 was more violent. Well, yeah, again, 94 was centered in a populated area, whereas 89 was centered um, like basically in Watsonville. So it had time to dissipate through a shit ton of mountains before it got to the populated areas. Alright, that's that. Mwah! I'm gonna try and do this every weekday when I'm on the air for as long as I can while I'm doing the work as well, so please join me, and I appreciate everybody being here. It was fun. Cheers, man. Have a good weekend and all that shit.